Is this? Oh, yeah. We're going to do a little Barry White. Anyone? Anyone? You feel me? All right. Okay, Jacques, put your demo away. It's time. Oh, it's a new one. All right, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you know who you are. Thank you for coming. It's late in the day. Ed is here. Ed Dawson, the man, the myth, the legend, CG Pro. He's the other half of CG Pro. Can I say that? This is this half of CG Pro. Yeah, there's the main half of CG Pro. This is the other half of CG Pro. She makes him do all the work. And then for this session, he's going to be diving into real time and how to use it in production. He's going to probably sprinkle a little AI in there because he does that. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Hell yeah.
All right. Ed,
Yes.
take it away.
Thank you, Mr. John Canning. Everybody, give it up for JC in the house. All right. Okay, let's get started here. So my name's Ed. Thanks for coming. I'm going to get started by saying thanks to AMD and Lenovo and the Creator Lab for having me here. And thanks to NAB, obviously, and Mr. John Canning himself. Thank you, sir. All right, let's jump in. So just make sure that is showing. Yeah, cool. So quick session overview for today. I'm going to go through an introduction, real time, and what that means to me, how that affects production, pre-production, broadcast, anything involving pixels. I'm going to show some demos. I'm going to be showing some Unreal Engine, some virtual camera, and a bunch of AI stuff, because, you know, what conference would be complete without tons of that at the moment. And I'm going to go do some case studies. I'm going to tell you about a few projects that we've worked on. A little time for Q&A. So come in, sit down if your legs are tired, and I'm going to start the presentation or the demo. All right. So my mouse is not working. Now it is. So my name's Ed. I am a VFX artist for 20 years. I've worked in many different industries, but mainly in software engineering. So I've done those two things for a living. I've worked on some movies like The Lion King and Jungle Book and Harry Potter and Jurassic World, that type of thing, including the use of many traditional VFX tools, and started a CG training company called CG Pro, which it was about 6 years ago that began. It was at the beginning of virtual production, which any virtual production people in the house, anyone who likes computer graphics, anyone dabbled in AI? Yeah, couple, little bit. All right. Well, we're going to show a bunch of things involving all of those things. But yeah, my background is computer graphics since I was 6, so at least 10 years. I have, just kidding, been 40 years interested in computer graphics, 20 years professionally, worked at places like ILM, Digital Domain, and hopefully my mic holds out. I think it's doing okay. Popping in and out a little bit, but all right. So what is real time? There's the question prompt for the first part of this talk. So real time to me is both being able to see things in real time, things like real time engines. Unreal Engine is an example, Unity, there's various different real time engines. Any people here used Unreal Engine before? Yep, 2, 3 at least, cool. But really, to me, real time incorporates mics coming in and out quite a lot for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's noise canceling, or maybe it doesn't like me. I don't know. Anyway, real time is like being able to see imagery appear in real time. Some of this stuff here on the screen you could see is a bit small probably, but some of this involves real time, being able to see things in 2D in real time and 3D in real time. So it's both being able to see things in real time, but also being able to collaborate in real time. Really, that's the more interesting part to me in terms of real time, is how we can work together in real time. Here comes a new microphone. Thank you. All right. How's that? That feels better already. Feels better. Yeah. So it's both being able to see things in real time, but also being able to work together in real time, collaborating in real time. And that includes things like Miro, being able to work in a whiteboard together, working in Google Slides and being able to collaborate together. So real time to me is about being able to work together in real time, but being able to see things, iterate, ideate in real time. Both visualizing, communicating, collaborating, being able to work in real time or as close to real time as possible. It doesn't have to be instant, but working quickly in digitally and being able to see things quickly. All right. So let's jump into a couple of demos to exemplify real-time work and being able to ideate in real time. I'm going to attempt to do a demo of this workflow here, which involves Unreal Engine. We're going to take a look at Unreal Engine. I'm going to pop it open right here. So this is Unreal Engine. It's a game engine. Hopefully, if my mouse works, I need two hands. How's that going to work? Well, maybe it's not, or maybe Jackie can help me. Thank you, Jackie. This is my beautiful assistant, Jackie, also business partner and wife. All right, so here we go. This is Unreal Engine, and what we're looking at here is a pretty rudimentary scene, if you like. This is a guy with a ball. That's what it is. So we're able within a real-time engine to be able to compose, to be able to frame this up. But it's a game engine, so you can make this, you can polish this up and make this look really amazing. But if you want to take it the next level and you just want to do a little bit of work, maybe you just want to get the camera set up and the rough composition of something that you want to see, like this, then you can do this in a game engine. But let's say we want to render this and make it look like something different. We want to compose our idea. We want to create this shot, but we want to use AI to take it the rest of the kind of visually the rest of the way. Anybody here dabbled with AI? I'm sure all of you. Come on, you must have done. You're alive in 2026. You've used AI. Anybody here heard of Comfy UI? No? Yes? A little bit. Anyone used it? Yeah. Yeah. Anyone want to use it but got put off by how complicated it looks? Yeah. Okay. So what we've got here is a plugin for Unreal Engine that brings in all of the joy of Comfy UI. And here's a graph that shows a kind of workflow in Comfy UI. So to some people, that's like, oh, I don't like the look of that. It looks too technical and nerdy for me, but I want to make pretty pictures. So I want to use Unreal Engine, which I'm happy with, and this gives me the control that I want, but I want the look to be more photographic. So what we can do is we can use this plugin, and who's used AI but had it do weird random stuff that you didn't ask for? Okay. Who wants more control out of it? All right. Now we're getting some engagement. I like it. So what we can do here is typically in terms of control, what you want, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. It's almost like I don't know what I'm doing. Who wants like control over the position of the camera, the position of where they're looking from, if you like, or where the things are in the scene, but you're just trying to use words and talking to the thing and saying, no, not there, I meant over there, and having that kind of repeated conversation that costs money and credits. All right, so with using something like this, an example of being able to get composition. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate you. If you need to take an armrest at any point, feel free. If you want to get control over the composition, you can place your camera anywhere you like. So like here, we can control where we've got our camera, and we can then take a snapshot of this. So if we capture the viewport here, we can send it over into the secondary system here, which is Comfy UI. And you can program this to have any workflow you want. So you can run this structure. You can run this structure through any workflow you want. So you can run it through Nana Banana or Kling or any model you like. This is actually going to run a local model. So this is going to process a local workflow, which means it is not going to the cloud. I partly am doing this because I'm at a conference that I assumed would have terrible Wi-Fi, and I'm also doing this to demonstrate the fact this is not leaving this computer. So for any workflows where you're worried about the data leaving the machine, going to the cloud, or you just don't want to pay for those credits, you can use something like this. So this is entirely within Unreal Engine and Comfy UI, all on this laptop. What I can now do is come over here to the workflow. I can type in a prompt, and here I've got a photoreal image of a man pushing a giant basketball on a shiny floor in a basketball court. So that was the last run that I did, and that is what it did. That's what it generated from this. I can repose this character if I want to. I can go back into here, repose this, move the ball. I'm just going to show an example of what it means to change this last bit. So I'm going to say pushing a giant tennis ball. Is that 2 words? Tennis ball? I think it is. Tennis ball on a tennis court. And then I'm going to run this again. If the demo gods are smiling, then we'll see it popping through this graph. You can see it highlighting the different nodes there. So all running locally on this machine, using Z-Image for any AI model enthusiasts out there. Z-Image is a local model that will generate pretty photorealistic results based on the input. So hopefully what that shows you is we've got some amount of control. If I wanted to change this, I could jump in here, grab my character here, and then let's say, interesting doing it with this rudimentary equipment. It's my equipment, so I'm kind of insulting my own equipment. Let's raise his arm like that. Say we just want a different pose, but we're not saying to the thing, hey, I want a different pose. We are showing it. And I can go back into here, and then hopefully it will respect the pose. So let us see. I need to jump back into my camera real quick and snapshot. Oh, I did a cardinal mistake of I keyframed it into this pose. Anyway, hopefully you get the gist. I am going to move on, just show a couple of other things. But one example of working in real time is that we can essentially leverage the power of AI and the power of a real-time engine to get exactly the pose that we want and the composition that we want. Maybe I could take this ball and move it out here and then just regenerate just to kind of show that. I'm sort of half determined now to make it work. So I'm just going to run that through again. Again, it's AI model working on this laptop, not in the cloud on fancy cloud compute. It's running on the laptop and processing that. But there you have it. There's my next version of it. Move the arm a little bit, so it's made some sense out of where the ball is and mostly where the pose is. But I told it that I want it pushing the tennis ball, so it's like put something in there to push the tennis ball with, which is kind of interesting. But really, you get the idea there that you can now compose, you can pose your character in AI as long as you know Unreal Engine. Anyway, so that's one example I wanted to show, one little demo I've got there. The second one, which I wanted to show, is I'm going to go over to a different scene here. This one right here. So this one has in it, this is still Unreal Engine, so I can get rid of that stuff for now. Let's get rid of our AI for a minute. This is still something that involves AI. This is what's called a Gaussian splat. Anyone here heard of Gaussian splats before? No clue what that is? No, don't care. Yeah, okay. All right, so 3D photograph. Think of a 3D photograph. So we're able to move around our 3D environment, and we can place a character in here if we want. We can put it in a background, contextualize it. You could have a reporter standing on the floor in front of this background and move around, move your camera. And this allows us to be able to work in real time, be able to do our work in real time. But the cool thing is here is you can scan this from the real world. You don't have to build this. You don't have to have a 3D artist. That's a lot of what I've spent my career getting good at. But you can have a realistic, photorealistic 3D environment just using what's called a Gaussian splat. And what I'm going to try and show here is virtual camera. So if you bear with me 1 second, so I need to add a camera into the scene. So there I have my camera. I'm going to attempt to drive this with this phone so we can show, whoop, that was fun. So we can show what virtual camera means and also show you a little bit about like the fact you don't have to have fancy equipment to be able to do this kind of work. You can, as long as the demo gods are smiling at me. We'll see. Hopefully, here we go. All right. Can you mind holding it up there? That's great. Thank you. I'm quite tall. Oh, not in my eye though. Thank you. All right. So here we have virtual camera. Hopefully, what is trying to work over this little Wi-Fi box here, and probably in tons of interference in the conference room. So I didn't know if this one was going to work. We'll see. Not looking good so far. Let me try that one more time. All right, let's kill that. If this doesn't work, I will give up and not, any more than just moving on in my talk. All right. So I'm going to try adding that one more time. Conference, Wi-Fi, and all that. So I'm going to add a, where are we? Virtual production, VCam. All right. There we have our camera. Anyway, if this doesn't work, the main concept here is, and I would hardwire it, but I forgot one of my cables, so I can't. But here we have a virtual camera potentially moving just using my phone. Try and put it right next to the Wi-Fi. Maybe that'll help it. There we go. So here we have the ability to steer around in our Gaussian splat. So we've got a little handheld. Oh, that was fun. What did I do there? All right. Maybe it's time to let it go and put it down. Anyway, handheld virtual camera allows you to be able to move your camera inside your game engine and frame up on your subject. And my subject's gone over there, so I'd have to like go fly back to it, but I'm not going to make you sit through that. So a little bit of real time, being able to do some previs yourself, or if you've got more fancy equipment, you can do it in a broadcast studio and do virtual camera work through the engine. All right, thanks, Jackie. You can have your arm back now. All right, so you can use your iPhone for that. You can use the Android phone for it now because they updated the app, so you can use Android, which is pretty cool. And you can obviously use mocap, or maybe not obviously use more expensive mocap tech. You can see some of that around here in some of the booths. They've got motion capture facilities. All right, another thing we got in real time. This is Genie 3. Anyone seen Google's Genie 3 model? That is a real-time video generative platform which can create like a game engine, but it looks like a video. It's pretty crazy. This is a real interactive demo here showing a person flying, but you're actually controlling it using the keys on your keyboard. Pretty wild stuff. I'm expecting real-time interactive video in the next year or two. It's kind of here already. Another couple of things that have just released that is the NVIDIA Lyra model and Apple Sharp, which also creates Gaussian splats. Apple Sharp will generate you one in about a couple of seconds. Lyra's takes a long time, but it will generate big worlds, kind of like World Labs, which is poking out into the world of generative 3D worlds. And that is something which is coming hot and fast. All right. So some other things here that you can do in real time. You can do what we did in post-production now in real time in many senses, being able to put characters on different backgrounds. So here, a typical broadcast setting where you might see demos out there with LED walls or green screens, it's now moving towards the point where you can cut characters out off of a background, of any background. We're already seeing gray screens and brown screens, like things we had in June, but being able to cut characters out of any background, even a noisy background like this. So I predict that the future will see more of that. Lots of virtual production technologies have already showed the Gaussian splat version, but people are now using LED walls and generating the background. So it's a little bit of what we were just seeing. They're now becoming generative, so we can generate those 3D backgrounds, make up fantastical backgrounds that we can go into. We don't have to have everything be created in 3D. 3D takes a long time, and you don't always have that time or budget. We can also generate 3D in real time and see real 3D photorealistic models being generated in real time and be able to place them in the environment, mix them with Gaussian splats or traditional 3D. We can now build those in real time. Here's another technology that I would like to highlight. It's called Chaos Arena or Chaos Vantage. This is something which is a product that will work on an LED wall where typically you might have only seen it using Unreal Engine. Now you can use your traditional 3D software, things like 3D Studio Max or Maya or Houdini, and go straight to an LED wall. And it is real-time ray tracing, full frame ray tracing. So ray tracing an entire LED wall in real time. And that is something which is brand new, thanks to some technologies from NVIDIA called DLSS, which is making that possible. AI video, anyone here prompted a video into existence? I'm sure you all have. That's something which I wouldn't consider real time, although it's now starting to become real time. We're starting to see frame rates in video of 15 plus frames per second in generative video. So I would expect in the next few years to see generative backgrounds, generative 3D worlds. But even if it's quick and it's not real time, it's still useful. People are using video for previs all the time now and not necessarily grounding it in 3D. Although I will say, if you want that control, if you want that structure, you're still likely going to go back to a 3D engine basis to try and get your composition, to try and pose your camera. It's something which you're going to want to have. So we've obviously all seen AI imagery, being able to quickly visualize, as you saw from local generation with Z image just now. It's not real time, but it's fast and it gives you the ability to visualize really quickly. 3D model generation, as I said, tools that enable us to be able to do visual effects much faster, if not in real time. Things like Wonder Studios and various other tools that are appearing all the time. AI involved in motion capture also works in real time. It's the more expensive version that you can do real-time mocap in using AI, using purely optical, using purely video, not strapping on a mocap suit and spending tens of thousands of dollars. That is something which is also appearing, real-time motion capture from video. I'm just going to jump through here because I believe I'm probably getting close to my time. Another thing which I would consider in real time is something which I've done for a living previously, which was software engineering. Any code monkeys in the house? No code monkeys. I'm alone. It's only me. One down the front. Okay. So something else which you can kind of do in real time is programming, which is bizarrely wonderful. And using things like Claude. Any Claude people? Got any Claudes? No Claudes. Half a Claude. Okay. If you haven't tried this, try making a piece of software. It is something that is blowing my mind now. Having written systems of hundreds of thousands of lines of code and the time and complexity that it takes to do that, being able to vibe code a prototype, then being able to take it through a slightly more involved process, but not needing software engineering skills, being able to create software in real time is mind-blowing to this code monkey anyway. It's pretty cool, it's pretty cool being able to look at a piece of software that you're using right now. Let's say any Premiere fans in the house, any Adobe Premiere users. I'm trying every piece of software to see if any of you will use it. Something that I'm talking about. Cool. All right, Premiere. Being in Premiere, you see something that you want to do that doesn't exist in Premiere. You can now, in real time, build a plugin for Premiere and drop it in, make it do something that it can't. in real time. Crazy. No technical skill required. But that said, software engineering is still a real thing. The mindset is still a real thing. Being able to have AI assistants that speak to you in real time, that's something which I'm enjoying building. There's a example here from NAN, which requires no code to be able to use, but you can build AI assistants that work with you in real time. So you can iterate on ideas. You can have, you're taking a picture. I'll go back to it. You bet. You bet. So NAN is something which kind of glues AI bits together and other things. You can glue your Google world to your project management world and have it talk to Claude in the middle, so it can like figure out things and work with all of your systems in real time or close to it. Again, pretty bonkers. I rebuilt something that my previous personal assistant was doing in a day, and it did it better and more consistently. And it's just, yeah, it's wild. Not advocating for the eradication of the human race. I'm just saying there's some pretty cool stuff out there, and you should check it out. All right. So, how do you keep up with it all? Is a question I've heard a lot today. I try not to not sleep, but I do like exploring this stuff, and I explore it a lot. So trying to keep up with it is finding good sources, getting a good community around you of people who can help you understand this stuff. I would say anyone who's not exploring AI at the moment, do it. I think that it is a really important thing to be doing, but also digging further back into the fundamentals of the career that you already have, because domain knowledge is also something you can deepen, but essentially consistently learning, being around great people all the time. And the skills that I think are, I run a school, so this is why I'm talking about skills right now. What I think is important right now in the visual space is traditional skills, including CG skills or any of the software that you already use, because it's still a real thing today. Traditional art skills, having a good eye, having a good sense of being able to talk to people about the art that you care about, the language, the sensibility, the professionalism, filmmaking skills, storytelling skills, all of those things still really matter. The new stuff, I would say, is learning a little bit about computer graphics, learning a little bit about virtual production, real-time engines, some AI on top of that. As it says, be careful, but don't ignore it. Don't bury your head in the sand. I highly recommend exploring it to its fullest and then have a conversation about it rather than fearing it, because it's actually not that scary. It is more exciting when you get into it for real. Problem solving is a timeless skill that will continue to be important. Programming, I think, is something which has been very important to me throughout my career. I've been a software developer. I've been a visual effects artist for 20 years, though, but having that ability to understand how technology works under the hood, I still think is very important, even if you're not writing lines of code. Understanding how architecture works, how different systems plug together. If you're vibing up some new software and you don't know what it's built, dig into it a little bit and figure out what that stuff is and how it works and whether it's made good decisions. Understanding the automation tools and the tech stacks. And just a little quick note for what CG Pro is and what we do. We are a training company and a consulting company. We teach workflows and fundamentals first, and then we teach tools on top of that that can help specific problems. So lots of Unreal Engine, lots of AI, and lots of virtual production, lots of live events and broadcast. That's what brings us here. So things like Unreal Engine and AI typically at the top of that. If you want to come check us out, you can see some of the stuff we've done with a program called Nuke and some Gaussian splat work and some AI generative compositing, still involving compositing, still involving humans, at booth N2651 in the North Hall. There's a few case studies of things that we've worked on, but I'm going to flash through those. We worked with NASA on the Artemis mission. That was an awesome project. I got to teach some NASA engineers how to fake the moon landing. Yep, they faked it, but originally I think they didn't fake it. They faked it with me during the class. But anyway, so we also worked on Gran Turismo. That was a super fun project, making a real-time version of Gran Turismo. Anybody see Gran Turismo, the movie? Pretty cool movie. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. Very fun story, real human story. So we have a community that's called the Inner Circle. It helps people keep up to date. We have regular sessions every week. We dig into these subjects. We also teach in there a couple of times a month, and we have weekly labs. So if that's something that's interesting, come see me after. We also have an AI for Filmmakers course, which we run about every couple of months, and we've got another one coming up on May 30th. I'm an instructor in that class, and we also have special guests like Josh, who's worked in story on 50 movies and 5,000 commercials. There's a few things to say about that. Tom from the USC, and Eric, who's a DP. So lots of really high-end professionals who come in and talk during the classes. And we have a webinar, a free webinar. If you want to check it out, it's on our website. Free webinar, you can get a free lesson about AI. If you want to learn some more stuff about AI, it's free. Come along, and you might learn a few things on May the 7th. So I'm going to leave that last slide up for a minute. If you want to connect with me, there's a QR code that will take you to my LinkedIn. There's my email. There's the website. There is a Facebook group. There's a bunch of other stuff on our website that you can check out. Anyway, thank you all very much for being here. I appreciate it. My name is Ed, and I'm going to end this with if anyone wants to. All right. There's no need for the next slide. It just says Q&A, which is now. If anybody has any questions about any of the things that I talked about or anything else, I'll do my best. Yeah. I think we've got this mic, which might work. There you go.
So I got to confess, I came in late.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering where you think we are in terms of the switch from frontier AI to local AI, and how that, so like running Gemma, things like that on local systems from a production standpoint.
Production as in broadcast production, film production, broadly speaking. So where we are going from like big crazy models in the cloud that take tons of compute to can we do everything on our own machine, essentially. Cool. Yeah, I mean, the thing I just ran on this laptop is a good example of that. Z image, it's just an image generation, but you saw how fast it generated, full HD frame. LTX 2.3 will run on that machine, generate a video in a number of minutes, a few seconds long video, 5-second video in a few minutes that will generate on a laptop. It looks pretty good. It looks way better, like order of magnitude better than it did a year ago, and on the same hardware. So plotting that trajectory, I think there's always going to be, like, the more compute you can throw at something, the better job you can do. So I think there's always going to be an edge to push in the cloud compute and leveraging those crazy, clusters of high spec computers. They're never going to compete with the local processing, but to be able to do a really great job on the machine, you can already see something doing better than what the Google Imagen was like a year ago, but locally on a laptop. I would plot that path and suggest that will continue. I think that people seem very invested in it. So I think we're there already in some senses, that there's high utility in local already, and it's only going to get better. And I think being able to do Gemma or Llama or something that's like language based as opposed to visual based is already here. There seems to be a lot of enthusiasm and from the community to not let your data leave your environment, for one, and also to not have to necessarily pay. I think people who are developing those big crazy models in the cloud want to get paid for that, and they're gonna find ways to try and get paid for it. They might start licensing local generative, like license their models out like a piece of software almost. But I think there's some compute, like I say, at the moment you do a Nano Banana 2 generation, it goes off into the cloud, does who knows what with something under the hood, a whole bunch of computers, lots of different processes. Probably it's not just a model. It's a very complex thing that happens to it once it's left your machine. I think that will continue. I think that edge will be in the cloud because it's just got so much more compute power, but already we can do things on a laptop that blow my mind and mean that I don't have to pay credits for every single thing that I'm doing. Maybe it's enough for previs at some point in a year, maybe enough for production for some people, and then for the people who want it super fast or make it like as good as humanity can make it, still the cloud. So I don't know, probably a lot more to say than that, but yeah. Great question. Yeah. Anyone else? Anybody else have a question? AI or real time or yeah.
Is the plugin from Cesium, the Gen AI into Nuke? Unreal Engine.
Yeah, I wanted to show that here, but I assumed that the Wi-Fi wouldn't let me stream the cesium tiles. What Jack's talking about is a world, like basically Google Earth streaming into Unreal Engine and being able to see that stream into the engine and use it as a basis for being anywhere in the world, but then leveraging AI to take it the rest of the way photographically. I wanted to demo it. I just thought I probably couldn't. But what's the specific?
Actually, I was talking about the plugin, the Gen AI plugin. So that's different than Cesium.
Yeah. So if you saw the demo I did before, where I used Cesium, that basically used Nano Banana to like retool the context of a camera somewhere in the world and then make it look photorealistic. The plugin I used previously was called ViewGen. That one that I just showed could have run on top of Cesium. I just knew that I wouldn't be able to stream it in here. And this one was made by a recently ex-Epic employee, Michael Neely, who built this to bring Comfy UI together. So you can bring Cesium in, bring Comfy UI together inside Unreal Engine. Unreal's great glue for bringing 3D context together.
And that's available open source.
It is open source on GitHub.
Yep, and Ed posted about it like a day or two ago on his LinkedIn. So just check out his LinkedIn and you can see it there.
Yeah. Any more? Going once. You do? If anybody wants a sticker or a chip clip or to come up and talk, feel free. I'll be here for a little bit longer, but we have a couple of little bits of CG Pro swag up here if you want to come and get one. And if that is all, then I will love you and leave you. Have a wonderful rest of your NAB, and I will see you all soon, hopefully. NAB. Take care, everybody.